And so again,
verse 25.
and Moshe said, "Eat it today, for today is the Shabbat of Yahweh. Today you do not find it in the field. Gather it 6 days, but on the seventh day, which is the Shabbat, there is none. And it came to be that some of the people went out on the seventh day to gather, but they found none. And Yahweh said to Moshe, How long shall you refuse to guard my commandments and my Torah?"
You notice that? How long are you going to continue? Now, I told you that this is my day of rest, your day of rest. I said, gather enough bread for 2 days. Okay? And what they do? Well, they're going to go back on past experience.
We only had enough for the 1 day.
Well, I went out there 1 day, I gathered food twice, I gathered enough bread for 2 days, and I went out there the next day, and it turned to worms. That's because you were disobedient. I told you that time, only gather enough for 1 day. Now on the 6th day, you gather enough bread for 2 days, and you said, I ain't going to go and do that because the bread going to turn to worms.
I'm going to gather for 1 day.
And they went out there, and guess what? Somebody wasn't eating on the Shabbat. So, you know, and you know who didn't obey. You know who the stiff neck was, because you was eating your bread.
He's asking you for some.
He's looking at you like, can I have some red bread?
Just like the 5 virgins.
5 were wise and 5 were foolish, right? And so listen, he said, and your response was, how long refuse you to keep or guard, shamar, the Hebrew word shamar, guard my commandments and my Torah? How long? My laws, my instructions, how long? Look what it said in the next verse. See, for the Yah have given you the Shabbat, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide you every man in his place, and no man go out of his place until the 7th day. So the people rested on the Shabbat. So notice, Yah gave the children of Israel manna, our fathers manna, okay? He gave them to test them, to see whether they would keep his commandments or not. And this is, see, can you trust me? See, the whole teaching is Yah will provide, right? He made us. Remember, he created heaven and earth. Everything he made ahead of time. When he made man, everything man needed was already provided.
It was already in that
house. Already there. Okay? Same thing here. And then remember, Yahweh said that the Sabbath was an appointed time.
Yep.
It's a rehearsal.
Yep.
Because 6 days, man will govern himself, but the 7th day, Yah will reign. The earth does not know what righteousness is, a righteous reign. There are no righteous reign on planet earth. Every kingdom, okay, is a kingdom of Satan, set up, designed to work against Yahweh. Every kingdom on earth. They pass laws and legislation that only benefit certain men.
Right.
And guess what? You and I are not one of them.
And keep the men in these Elohim God-like positions.
Yes. Yes, right. And we remain slaves and servants. Okay? No
White and
righteousness.
black,
That's all colors. All colors. Ain't got nothing to do with color. Okay? All men. But guess what? Yah said the 7th day the land's going to rest, and you will see a righteousness. Yahushua will reign in Jerusalem on the throne of David, okay, for 1,000 years or 1 day. And there will be righteousness. For the first time, we will see righteousness on the earth.
Established.
That's what the 7th day is all about. And so when you and I keep the Shabbat, we say, yes, I believe Yahweh, that you created heaven and earth, and you will reign on the 7th day.
And where's the one when he said that this is the Shabbat is a sign between you and me?
Why don't we go to Exodus chapter 31 while we're still in there? Exodus chapter 31, very good question. Exodus chapter 31, okay? Look at verse 13, and we start verse 12. Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak you also to the children of Israel. Here we go again. Speak to the children of Israel, okay? And saying, truly my Sabbaths you shall keep a guard, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am Yah, that doeth set you apart. Notice that. We do not know who Yahweh is, but through his Shabbat. He said it again. He said, look what he says again. Verse 31. It's a sign. It's a sign, a memorial, a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am Yahweh. Anoki Yahweh. I am Yahweh that do set you apart. It's me that set you apart. He said, verse 14, you shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is set apart unto you. See, everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. Whoever doeth any work therein, that soul should be cut off from among his people. So you see what he's saying? So if the Sabbath is done away with, that means that all Yahweh's Sabbath is done away with,
Right.
including the
millennium
7,000 year
reign.
Sabbath is done away with. And he said, whoever does not keep that Shabbat will be cut off. So see, if we don't keep Yahweh's Shabbat, we cut ourselves off from the millennial Shabbat.
You better pray that you keep that Shabbat, because it said, blessed and set apart is he that has part in the first resurrection, because on them the second death has no power.
That's right. Look what it says in verse 15. 6 days may work be done, but on the seventh day, the Shabbat of rest, set apart to Yah. Whoever do any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall guard or keep the Sabbath to observe. That means to do it again, to observe the Shabbat throughout the generations for a perpetual and ongoing covenant. Verse 17, watch. It, that the Shabbat, is a sign between me and the children of Israel for how long?
Forever.
Forever. Why? Because in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. The word refreshed means like he took a breath. You know how when you be working hard, what does every person do after they finish a real hard task? What do?
Exhale.
We exhale, we go, oh, man, I'm finished. That's what Yah did. Okay? He finished with his work. Okay? Now, let's look at another scripture. It's Ezekiel chapter 20. Okay? Ezekiel chapter 20.
Very powerful book. Very powerful chapter.
Ezekiel says in Ezekiel chapter 20, look at verse 19. He says, let's start verse 18. But I say unto their children in the wilderness, walk you not in the statutes of your fathers, neither observe you their judgment, nor defile yourself with their idols. I am Yahweh your mighty one. Walk in my statutes and guard my judgments and do them. That's what you do. And set apart my Shabbat, my Sabbath, and they shall be a sign between me and you. Here it goes again. Why? That you may know that I'm Yahweh, your mighty one. Watch this. Notwithstanding, what happened? What the children of Israel do? They rebelled against me. They walked not in my statutes, neither kept my judgments to do them, which if a man do, he should even live in them. They polluted my Sabbaths when I said I will pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the wilderness. So we see our fathers did not obey the Shabbat. That's because they did not know Yahweh. Because they did not know Yahweh, they wound up disobeying him, disrespecting him, right? Committing every lewd act that there is underneath the sun. As a result, Yahweh cast them out of the land, and here we are to this day. Remember the fifth commandment says, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahweh your mighty one giveth you. What land was he talking about?
Israel.
As long as our forefathers honored their fathers and mothers, which meant they would obey the commandments which they were teaching them, Yahweh's commandments, then we would still be living in the land today. But because our forefathers did not obey, Yahweh cast them out to the nation. So we can see again, the Sabbath is very important. It is the sign between Yahweh and his people.
Established in the beginning.
In the very beginning. In the Bereshit. Okay? And again, what is Yah doing? He's establishing something. He's laying out a plan here. He's building his house. So now let's go back to Genesis chapter 2. Okay? And we see Yahweh now focusing more. Now he's going to focus again on man. In the beginning, chapter 1, he talked about all of his